The fear of getting negative feedback is the single biggest reason why people don't share, create, and post more. You're afraid of what people who aren't chasing their dreams down think of you, and it's preventing you from chasing your own dreams down. That needs to end. So last night on my Twitch stream, I had a woman join me in the comments who was saying, I'm afraid of saying the wrong thing. I'm afraid of moving forward and taking action like I need to because I'm afraid of saying the wrong thing. I'm afraid I'm gonna get judged. And this is a bucket that a lot of people fall into. Every time I make a video, I'm afraid of saying the wrong thing. Every time I get on stage, I'm afraid I'm going to say the wrong thing, especially when it's a live format. I'm doing an interview or I'm on stage or I'm helping somebody. I'm always afraid I'm going to say the wrong thing because my number one fear is disappointing people. We know we're capable of more. We know we're capable of helping. I know I'm capable of helping, but because you're afraid of saying the wrong thing, because you're afraid of letting somebody down, because you're afraid of giving the wrong advice, what ends up happening is you don't do anything. You have your foot in the gas and the brake at the same time. So your tires are spinning, but you're not moving anywhere. And you have to learn to let go of the brake, but you never start because you're afraid of negative feedback, because you're afraid that people won't like what you put out there. You can't let that fear run your life or you'll never accomplish the big things that you want.
Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Belief Nation.
Hey, it's Nina Carmichael, and we made these videos because you're probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more, and you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, my husband Evan Carmichael, and his top 10 rules for success. Rule number 2, learn from different people.
You will never achieve your goals by listening to people who haven't done it for themselves. That sounds pretty common sense, but it's actually what most people do. Chances are you're the most ambitious person that you know. You've got the biggest dreams of the people that you hang around with. And if you keep listening to the people who are too afraid to chase down their dreams, you're gonna become one of them. So one of my favorite things to do is I love learning different things from different people. There is no one person who can teach you how to be you, but you can pull different things from different people to learn how to be the best version of you. That's your entire goal. How do I become me? How do I become the best Evan Carmichael? How do you become the best you? And that comes from pulling and learning from different people, different things. Look at the people behind me on my wall. Everybody's here because of a different story. And in the middle is me and my parents. I'm 8 or 9 years old in this picture. My parents are above me. And I have this on my wall because my parents taught me to believe in myself. They taught me that I'm Evan Carmichael. I could do anything that I believe that I can. And my aspirations, my dream, what I love to do is people to learn how to be a father like my father was to me. So I've got a son. I want to be a great father to him like my father was to me. I've also got Steve Jobs up on my wall right here, right? And I love having Steve Jobs on my wall because I want to learn how to be a visionary like Steve Jobs. I'm working like this every day. My computer's here, and I got Steve Jobs staring me down, right? Every day when I walk in and start working, he's staring me down because I want to be thinking bigger. I want to be having a big vision, big dream, big goals like Steve Jobs was. I don't want to be a visionary like my father because he isn't one. And I don't want to be a father like Steve Jobs because he wasn't a very good one. But I want to be the best Evan Carmichael by taking something from Steve Jobs and something from my dad and something from Kanye on the Fall World Day and something from A.P. Giannini, right? Something from Howard Schultz. I want to pull different things from different people to help me become the best me. And the mistake that we make is we keep listening to people who haven't done the thing that we want to do and trusting their judgment. I don't want to take parenting advice from Steve Jobs. And I'm not going to take vision building advice from my father, right? With total respect. There are things that you love about your friends. There's things that you can learn from them and you want to be around them and that can make you better. Amazing. But if you're sharing your dreams and they haven't done anything big and they don't have aspirations and they don't want to go off and accomplish anything huge themselves and they're too afraid to chase down their ideas, those aren't the people who you need to be listening to for advice. You need to surround yourself with people who will push you, who you aspire to be like, and who you want to learn something from.
Rule number 3, work hard and smart.
Too many people think that the secret to success is just waking up an hour earlier. If you weren't productive with the 16 hours that you are awake, what makes you think that by adding a 17th hour when you are more tired is actually going to make a difference? The problem is that you're losing too much time during the day. We're going to fix that in this video. So I'm constantly looking at how I can work smarter. I'm constantly looking at how I can hack myself, hack my schedule to get more done, be more productive, be more efficient, and work towards building the life that I want to continue to build. This week is actually a great example. I've made a change in my calendar this week where I've always done different things on different days. Where, Monday's my mentoring day, and Tuesday's my YouTube day, and Wednesday's my project day, and Thursday's my interview public facing day, and Friday is my CEO day, and Saturday is my fun day, and Sunday is my family admin day, right? And that's what happens every day, as long as I'm here in Toronto and not, speaking or on tour somewhere. I made a shift where I was reading an article over the weekend talking about how some people are better in the morning at being in research mode, in intellectual mode, in planning mode, and better in the afternoon at more creative mode, talking to people mode. And I resonated with that. Even when I make these videos, I've shifted over the past couple weeks to making my videos in the afternoon. I find when I make my videos in the afternoon, I have more energy, it's more fun, I look forward to it more. And when I make a video in the morning, I have to force myself to bring the energy more. So in the morning, I'm less energetic, I'm less outgoing, I'm less willing to talk to people, and I'll do it if I need to, but I'd much prefer doing it in the afternoon. And so now I'm applying that across all of my days as much as possible. So in the morning chunk, I'm spending my time doing planning and researching and intellectual and data gathering and processing. And in the afternoon is when I'm spending my time doing Instagram lives and making videos and meetings and talking to people and mentoring and that kind of stuff. And so it's a test, it's an experiment that I'm going through right now. And so far, I'm kind of liking it. I don't know if I'm gonna make it prescriptive yet, and if I'm gonna apply it to everything yet, but so far, I'm really liking it. And I think that's constantly the hack, because hard work is important. You have to work hard. Hard work, though, is just your ticket in. It's not enough just to work hard. There's lots of people who work hard, but then don't accomplish anything, who don't ever get their goals or dreams. There's people who just work smart, and that's not the ticket either, right? Just working smart is not enough either. It's that combination of working really hard, but working on the right things that move your business forward.
Rule number 4, find your purpose.
Finding your passion does not have to be hard. Understanding what you should be doing with your life and how you can be serving other people is one of the greatest gifts you can give, not just yourself, but your family, your community, the world around you. But if you write off finding your passion as being too difficult, not worthwhile, too expensive, too scary, that you can't do it, then you cheat yourself of that amazing gift and you will never be happy. We're gonna fix that in this video. So I wrote this book, Built to Serve, and I did it because I was on my tour last year. I hit 90 days, 23 different cities, and I went for a different reason. I went on my tour talking about how to build momentum in your life and your business. And what I kept coming back with in every city was, how do I find my passion? How do I find my purpose? How do I know what I'm supposed to do with my life? In every city, the same thing kept happening over and over and over and over and over again. And so I don't think the right thing to do is slam people for asking the question of, how do I find my passion? I think the better answer is to actually give them a process, to give people a solution. And it just blew my mind how difficult people make it on themselves, and they feel like they need to meditate for years, they need to hire some super expensive coach. They feel like it's hopeless and they'll never figure it out, because they look at the people around them and you see, well, the people around you haven't figured it out, so how am I going to figure it out? And if your parents haven't figured it out, why are you listening to them to help you figure out your purpose and your passion, what you're supposed to do? It doesn't have to be that difficult. And I started going through this process with people when I met them at my different groups and my speaking gigs in each of the cities that I went to. And the most memorable one was in San Jose, where I walked people through this process of who I am. And just the first question was like, hey, I don't know what to do with my life. I don't know how to find my passion. And I walked them through the who I am process. And then that person started crying and in a great way, like, wow, finally having some clarity. And then the rest of the Q&A basically was me doing the same thing for the people. Who I have. And now people have clarity and momentum where they didn't have it before. And so it's why I wrote the book. It's why I'm making videos like this. It's because I want to share the process with you so that you can find your clarity, you can find your passion, you can find your purpose, and turn it into something that builds a happy life for you and for the people around you for the rest of your life. It's one of the most important things. If you figure this out, understand that this will never get old. Finding your passion, finding your purpose, those two things will never get old. You'll love doing those things for the rest of your life. Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there.
Rule number 5, push through the pain.
You are capable of more. I just want to tell you, to remind you that you are capable of more. That this struggle that's in front of you right now, that seems all-encompassing and impossible to overcome, it's not your max. You can handle it. Because if this is your max, then you don't grow. And you don't become the person that you know you're capable of becoming. This video will help. So the most pain I went through was when I was on my tour last year and I broke my neck. I broke my neck, I fainted and hit my head on the wall and broke my neck in 2 spots. I compressed my spine. I had a concussion, which I've never had in my life before. And they put me in a neck brace. They put me in these and I wore this one for 50 days or so and this one for 10 or something like that. It was 60 days of wearing something like this and only being able to take it off for 10 minutes a day. That's it. So I had to sleep in this. I had to shower in this. I had to do my speaking gigs in this. And you can see, I don't know if you can see, there's duct tape on here because this one was more comfortable than this one. And so like, I really didn't want to break this one, but just from use, right? From having it on all day long, eventually it broke and my wife taped it up and she wrote here, "I love you, get well soon, love Nina," kind of like a cast. Anyway, this is the most painful thing that I had to go through. And the day I broke my neck, I was supposed to be doing my speaking gig in Colorado, and we had to cancel that because obviously I can't do it while I'm in the hospital. But then came a really important time. What do I do next? I don't know how long a concussion lasts. I don't know how I'm going to deal with the pain. I haven't really broken a bone in my body before, let alone 2 in my neck. I didn't know how safe it was to travel, still do my speaking gigs. And the advice was rest and go home. You can't get on a plane because of the compression, but just drive home. Just rest and go home. And, you know, my agent wanted me to do it. The doctors wanted me to do it. Like, I'm not going to go home. I don't want to go home. This is my chance to show myself what I'm made of. This is my chance to see what I can do. Let me at least try. Let me at least try. And it's very rare that we actually get pushed to our limits, like our actual limits. You're pushed to your physical limits and you can't do anything more. And so my initial thought was, well, forget that. I mean, everybody who was supposed to come, let's just do something tomorrow. Look, this is what I was thinking. Let's do something tomorrow in our Airbnb and just have them come over and I'll lie down on the couch or the bed and they can ask me questions. I'm here to give value, guys. I'm here to help. Let's go. Helping entrepreneurs is going to be healing for me. And the doctor's like, yeah, you can't do that. You got a concussion. You can't even think clearly or properly. Like, that's never going to happen. So I had to refund everybody in Colorado. And my next stop was Kansas City. And we drove to Kansas City, not too far away. And I was still feeling the massive pain from the neck, but still the concussion. I hadn't recovered from my concussion and I didn't know how long it was going to last. And I made a video for the people who bought tickets to Kansas City, canceling on them. And what I wanted to do was say, hey, I'm here anyway. I'll give you your money back. Come to the hotel and I'll still talk to you for as long as I can go. And it was the morning, the day before in the morning, I was making a video and I thought, I couldn't even finish making the video. I started getting dizzy halfway through the video, and so I paused it and I thought, okay, we should just cancel this. Like I can't even get through 2 minutes of making a video. And so I tried again at night and I got through the video and I said, you know what? I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to last tomorrow. I already booked the hotel. You know, it's non-refundable for me. You guys already booked your tickets. You booked the time off in your calendar. I'm gonna refund you the money because I'm not gonna be able to go for 4 hours like I've been doing in each city, but I'll go for as long as I can. If you want to show up and I'll try to help. And I went for an hour and a half. And it was the greatest hour and a half, you know, one of the greatest hour and a halves of my life. And my wife had to then pull me off after an hour and a half because I was starting to get, I didn't even notice it, but I was starting to get, you know, woozy on stage. And it was great. I was so pumped because this was, I'm done. I've never been pulled off a stage before. And here I was at my max. And I love the idea of pushing through the pain. Obviously be healthy, obviously don't be stupid. But a lot of times we pull ourselves back way too soon. We don't allow ourselves to actually test what we're made of, to see how far we could actually go. And so I kept these thanks to my friend Mark Drager. I don't collect things. I don't have souvenirs of stuff, but he said, you need to save them as a souvenir of what happened, as a memento. I'm like, all right, whatever, I'll keep it. And I look at this, I'm like, I'm crazy. I did that? 60 days in this and kept going on tour, and we still did 10 more cities. And I sat at the front of these stages sitting down because I couldn't stand properly. And I had like 2 or 3 pillows behind me and an ice pack over my right shoulder the whole time, and still spoke for 3 to 4 hours every day, right? I still made videos. You can go back on my channel and you'll see me wearing this with like this giant scab or scar on my head because this is where I hit my head on the wall. It's crazy. This is a reminder of what I'm capable of. That whatever max I feel like I'm facing right now is not my max. And I think you're capable of more as well.
Rule number 6, adjust your calendar.
Success equals habits. If you are not reaching the goals that you have for your business and your life, it's because you are not doing the right habits consistently. I say consistently because you are what you consistently do, not what you kinda do. If you run a kinda gotta do schedule, then you're gonna have a kinda okay life and a kinda okay business. I wanna change that in this video. So I live by my calendar. I think it's one of the greatest tools you can ever have, that when you have something that you want to accomplish in your life, in your business, that it's in your calendar. Because if it's not in your calendar, it just remains one of these someday I will do something, but you never actually take action on it. And it's one of the biggest mistakes that people make after getting inspired, motivated. You watch a video like this, you go to a conference, you listen to a podcast, like that was amazing, so much fire. And you might be on fire for the rest of the day, but then you don't follow through because it's not in your calendar. Show me your biggest goals in life and business. Tell me what they are. If I was going to charge $100,000 for an hour of coaching with you, right? This is what I would focus on. What are your big goals? And show me in your calendar where you are spending your time. For too many people, they don't line up. For too many people, they have these ambitions and great ideas, but they just stay ideas and ambitions because it's never actually in your calendar. And so if you don't put the big things in your calendar, you'll never accomplish them. The little things will take over your life. For too many of us, the little things have taken over. And it's not that they're not important, because they are, but small in importance. And so you can tell yourself, I did so much, look at how much I did. But then you look back on the week, it's like, what did I actually do? I was busy the whole week, but did I move forward in any of my goals or ambitions? Probably not. This is a problem. So for me, I like having different things on different days. Tuesday, I make videos. This is a Tuesday for me. This video may not be released on a Tuesday, but I'm recording it on a Tuesday. Because Tuesday, I am making YouTube videos because I want to grow my YouTube impact. Because I want to reach 500 million people, 1 billion people, right? I want to reach the world. And I think YouTube's the best way to do it right now. And so, great. It's amazing to have that ambition. Show me in your calendar where you're spending your time. Well, all day Tuesday, I'm making videos. Wednesday is my project day. Thursday is my public-facing interview day. Friday is my CEO day. Saturday is my fun day with my wife, right? This impacts your personal life as well. Saturday, I'm planning the entire day for my wife that has fun surprises where there's no work happening, not even going to Costco. Like, no, Costco is not fun for me. So we're not going to Costco. Sunday is family admin day, where that's Costco day. That's buy a new couch day. That's do the laundry day. That's whatever needs to be done for the family. And then Monday is mentoring day, spending that with my team, right? I look at my calendar, and this is what you can do. Look at your calendar every week and see what's ahead for the week. Is there a structure to it? If you looked at that calendar and stepped above it and said, if I did these things, will I move closer to accomplishing my goals? Will I make progress? It's not that you're going to hit your goal by just spending a week working on something. You won't. But will you make progress towards it? Is there growth? Is there achievement happening? And for too many people, it's a no, and I think you should change that.
Rule number 7, focus on the right things.
Most entrepreneurs spend way too much time doing things that barely matter. You're working hard, you're grinding every day. It's not that you're not trying, it's that you're spending your time doing activities that are not moving the business forward enough. We need to play bigger and focus on the right things, because you cannot be in the same spot that you're in today 1 year from now. This video is gonna help. So I've got a friend of mine going through this right now, an entrepreneur. She's an amazing entrepreneur. I want to see her win so badly. And she has this very clear path for what she needs to do. Very clear. You have to do this. You got to talk to these people. This will move the ball forward. This is all you need to be spending your time on. Reach out to these 50 people and you will start to accomplish success. And she's afraid. She's afraid that she doesn't have the answers. She's afraid that it's not going to work out. She's afraid they're not going to pick up the phone. She's afraid. She's just afraid. And so she's consuming herself with busy work. She's consuming herself with tasks that do move the ball, but in tiny little increments. That posting on social media, and that touching base with someone in the team, and that logging into the CRM, all these things that probably should happen, but aren't really difference makers for her business. That's what she's spending her time doing. So she can pat herself on the back and say, look at me, I'm busy, I'm doing work, I'm crushing. I went in and I checked everything off my list today, except the thing that mattered most. Except the thing that will actually push your business forward. And everybody around her, this is likely a challenge for you. Everybody around her is looking to her as a leader, is looking to her as this ambitious, go-getter, working hard person. Nobody around her is saying, listen, what you're spending your time on is ridiculous, is not where you need to be putting your efforts. And so she's stuck in this plain small mode, in this land of excuses, where yes, she's being massively productive, but she's not doing enough to move her business forward. And 1 year from now, she's gonna be in a similar spot, slightly ahead, because she was too afraid to take action on the things that she needs to take action on. But now she's got me, and I'm on her every day to say, how are we doing on that list? How are we doing on that list? And suffocating the excuses. Because I'm not buying the excuses, because I know she's capable of more, because I'm not going to allow any out possible, because everybody in her life, everybody in your life might be letting you off the hook, thinking you're out there working hard, doing the right things, but you are not. And you need either the self-discipline to do it, or somebody amazing in your life to say, I am not allowing you to play small anymore. It's okay to be afraid. It's not okay to let that fear stop you. Because until you start focusing on the things that will actually grow your business forward, you will never accomplish the success that you are after.
Rule number 8, step into discomfort.
You are not that different than your heroes. The people who you look up to, respect, watch their videos of, listen to their podcasts, read their books. There's not that big a chasm between who they are and who you are. There's a tendency to look at these people who've had ginormous success and say, well, they're just built differently. They're wired differently. I'm not like them. And that mindset, that way of thinking, for you to say that I'm just so different from them, is keeping you safe and small and not realizing your potential. The only difference between your heroes and you is the willingness and ability to step into the discomfort. They were willing to do it. You haven't yet, and we're going to change it in this video. So on Monday, I was meeting with Alex, who helps me run Toronto Dance Salsa, and he's an amazing entrepreneur. He's got tons of heart and energy and love and care, and he's been struggling to stay consistent. He's working from home right now. We've got coronavirus, shut down, lockdown. He hasn't been on his regular routine, and I was pushing him on Monday to get back on routine. Let's go. Basic things like clean up your apartment and make proper food for yourself and stay on your workout regimen. This should be the time where you stay disciplined. And his response was, I'm not getting it. I'm not hearing it. I can't connect to the advice because I feel like you're just different than me. You're just wired differently. And that is the biggest cop-out, because it allows you to play small. It allows you to look at people who are doing the thing. It allows you to look at me or Lisa or anybody who you look up to, right? Steve or AP or Kanye or Howard. It allows you to look at these people that you love and respect and say, well, that they were just so magical and so different. And that's the reason why they won. And I'm never going to be like that, because they're built differently. You're giving yourself an out. You're giving yourself the biggest excuse and biggest out that most people fall into that trap of. And I told Alex, dude, there is no difference between you and me. Not on this. The difference is my willingness to step into discomfort. My willingness to say, this thing that's happening right now is the greatest. You're sitting there thinking this is the hardest time of all. I'm thinking this is the greatest. That's the difference. The mindset shift, the training that's got in to making that mindset shift happens is the only difference. Not that I'm better or born different or have any other set of circumstances that is preventing you from winning like me. And so I told him, this is a muscle that you build. Starting today, you start building that muscle. right? I'm just a little bit further ahead. I've done more work in the weight room of the mindset, right? And so it's unfair to compare where you're at right now to where I'm at. And it's unfair to compare where you're at, you guys watching, to where Lisa's at or Steve Jobs or somebody else, because you're not comparing their beginning, and you might be at the beginning right now. And so it starts today. And I told Alec, it starts today. What can you do today to make yourself proud of your effort? The problem is you're not proud of your effort. The problem is you might be posting some things on Instagram and saying, look at what I did today, but you're going to sleep at night. You didn't pass the pillow test, saying you're proud of yourself. What do you need to do today to be proud of your effort? He said, I gotta clean up my condo because it's a giant mess. Like, great, go clean up your condo. And it took him way longer than he thought it was gonna take, but he did it. And then you know what magical things happen? He started making calls to the people he needed to make calls to. He started making videos for the videos he needed to make videos for. He started to have more energy and enthusiasm and hope and belief and confidence because he did the difficult thing. Now that's just one day. It's every day deciding to do that same thing over and over and over and over and over again. And then that's how you build the muscle. You don't build giant muscles by going to the gym once and working your face off. It's every single day going to the gym.
Rule number 9, control your action.
When you have lost control of your outcomes, remember that you can still control your actions. You are not in control of the market, of your customers, of your revenue, but you can still control how and where you spend your time. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, it's because you feel like you have no control. We're gonna fix that in this video. So as I'm recording this video, we're in the middle of the coronavirus outbreak. We're in quarantine. I'm here in my place in Toronto, Canada, filming content like I normally do, but my business is hurting. All the businesses that I'm involved in are hurting. So if you look at my YouTube channel as an example, the views were down, the revenue rates on advertising is way down because people aren't advertising right now. My speaking business is zero. I was supposed to be speaking multiple times this month. It's all to zero. My book tour, not happening. And so all of this chaos, so look at my Toronto Dance Salsa business where we teach people how to dance salsa, the largest dance school in Canada, maybe North America for salsa dancing, and shut down, zero, nothing, not happening, right? I mean, we can't have classes during coronavirus. People are not allowed to touch. So our business was shut down by the government. And that sucks. It's easy to get lost. It's easy to get involved in chaos and say, oh my God, it's all over. Everything's spiraling out of control. I can't control what happens with coronavirus. I can't control what's happening with my students and whether they're going to come back or not. All I can control is what I do. All I can control is how I show up every day. I can still make videos. I can still plan. I can still create content. I can still reach out to my team and ask how they're doing and motivate and inspire them. I could still do activities every day. Where people get lost is getting overwhelmed by just staying in their head, saying, oh my God, this is never going to work out. I don't know what to do. And you're just stuck in a spiral of thinking instead of actually creating, and getting lost in a news cycle and seeing what's happening and checking in 80 times a day to see what the new death toll numbers are. Coronavirus doesn't help you. There's one thing to be informed, and it's great to be informed, and you need to make informed decisions. Amazing. But to be overwhelmed by it, to cloud your thinking so that all you're doing is thinking and not have action, that just creates a really strong negative cycle and spiral downwards. Because when you're feeling out of control, the way out of it is to control your actions again, to control your thinking again. But if you're not actually taking any action, then you never actually solve the problem. And so it's doing the best you can with what you have. I am still in control of my time. I can still wake up today and make videos for you. I can still wake up today and do my Instagram stories. I can still wake up today and plan what we're gonna do with my salsa business once we get out of the coronavirus, because this is not gonna last forever. You can still wake up today and choose to be productive on the things that will best drive value for your business and for your customers today.
Rule number 10, the last one before our very special bonus cup, act on your ideas.
Whenever I get an idea, I have to do something immediately. Trust your ideas, believe that they're amazing, and manifest them into the world. I love it. I'm not taking it from the approach of, I want this book to be a New York Times bestseller, and I'm sitting there visualizing my book being a New York Times bestseller. I'm not visualizing myself being on Brendan Burchard's stage in Puerto Rico to a couple thousand people. That's not the process that I typically go through, although I'm open to that maybe being a mistake. I don't know. It's never really felt like it's worth it. I don't know. I'm sitting there. I've done it many times, sitting there visualizing. I've never really felt like that made a difference. I'm open to being totally wrong. But how I do apply it and it's massively seen an impact is as soon as I get an idea for something, it's go time. Trust that vision that came to you, trust that idea that's in your head, and do something immediately about it. When I thought about the idea of having a house, of building a custom home, I then went off and built the 5,000 square foot custom home. Like inside of the year, we had the whole thing done. When I thought about silly things, like I thought about having a mannequin. I was watching Green Arrow on TV, and I loved how they all had their mannequins when they were in their layer or their realm. They had their outfits, their costumes on a mannequin, and I thought, I feel like I'm the Green Arrow. I got the deep hood. Look, I could be. This is the Believe Arrow, right? I want a mannequin too. And then inside of a week, I had my own mannequin here, and so it may seem crazy, it may seem wild, but that's how I tend to operate, and I think it's amazing. Right now, I'm thinking about doing a 30-day challenge on my YouTube channel, my main YouTube channel, where every day for the next 30 days, I have a series of videos to help you build a better life. So like 30 days to a better life. And it's gonna be some of our best work. And I thought of the idea, and now immediately we're doing it. And so trusting the ideas that come to me and then immediately creating them and I guess manifesting them to the world, I am 1,000% all in on. The sitting and visualizing the thing that I want, I have a struggle with, and I'm open to making it better and being changed. Where I faced the hardest time with this is my health. So I broke my neck last year, right? I wore this for 60 days, taking it off for 10 minutes a day. That was it. And I had a concussion, and I had 2 spots in my neck that were broken. And I did some meditation with a guy named Michael Edwards, who led me through this guided meditation, and he helped me, and he was doing it with me in person, over the phone, sending me videos. And first off was getting the concussion away, because I'd never had a concussion before, and the meditation I found really helped the concussion. The second part was the visualization. So I have a bone in the back of my neck that broke off. So the big bone broke and is healed. The little bone just kind of broke off, like the tip, like imagine, I guess, a fingernail kind of hanging loose, right? And it broke off. And the doctor said it's not going to come back together. And it's not worth going and doing surgery on it because it's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. And Michael was convinced that I could heal myself and I could make that bone come back together. And so every night and every morning, I would do it twice a day, meditating and visualizing the neck coming back together. And it takes some hand sanitizer, or not hand sanitizer, take some lotion and put it on my neck, and just to get more tactical, like as I'm doing it, the bones connecting. I talked to John Assaraf, who is another legendary expert in this field, and he's fully convinced that it can come back together through visualization and through meditation. I haven't done it yet. I haven't cracked the code on how to do it. I wish I did. We did X-rays 60 days later, and it's still just as disconnected. It's still just as, it didn't move a centimeter, a millimeter closer. And that was honestly a little bit, negative or low or defeating. And my motivation to do it as intensely has waned. I haven't been doing it twice a day, every day. I still want to believe that it's possible. And I still kind of believe that it's possible. And maybe that's not enough. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe the problem was I never believed enough that it could happen, and that's why it didn't happen. So I would love for that to work. I would love for meditation to work. I've meditated with I don't know how many different people, so many different people. I've never really felt the benefit of having a meditation. Just feels like I'm sitting down. Nothing wrong with it. Just I don't feel extra clarity or anything coming out of the meditation. So I believe that it has worked for other people. I believe that it can work for me. I haven't found the path to make it work. So that's where I'm still struggling and trying to improve and trying to get better and reaching out to experts, and why I still feature people on my channel, because I'm trying to learn through the process as well. But the idea of taking the ideas that do come to you and taking immediate action on them, right? The last letters of law of attraction is action, doing something, trusting them. I think 1,000% that can serve you. It has served me. I know for sure it can serve you to learn to trust your ideas and do something immediately today about it, and then build momentum towards it. And that big crazy thing that you have in your mind may not even be that big and crazy once you actually start taking some action on it. And so that part I'm 1,000% down on, and you need to do something today in your life to change. And the other side, I'm totally open to feedback, suggestions on how I can get better, how you can get better. The biggest hack to stop caring about other people's opinions, to stop living other people's version of your life, and to start actually feeling happy and proud of yourself, the biggest hack to doing that is to figure out what you stand for, to figure out your single most important core value. I believe that everybody has a single most important core value. And when you figure that out, it gives you a lot more clarity, a lot more direction, a lot more confidence, and allows you to start to do things that you never thought were possible. All of a sudden, that idea that you've got of, oh my gosh, I could do this thing, but then never taking action on it, things start to happen for you because you have that clarity of value. So I wrote 2 books on this, Your One Word and Built to Serve, and we go through the process of figuring out your one word or your who. Who are you? What do you stand for? What is that single most important core value? One of my favorite activities that I go through, I call it the 5 essential questions, but the most important one there, I find usually, is asking people, who was your favorite teacher growing up and why? So if you've understood the concept of, hey, I need to have a core value, I need to know what I stand for, I'm tired of being on quicksand, I'm tired of living other people's version of my life, okay, great. How do I figure it out? Do I just pick one at random? Do I just read a book? Like, how do I actually figure out what I stand for? Well, asking yourself that question, who your favorite teacher growing up was and why, I think is critical. Think about it. You've had how many teachers in your life? Think about your school, elementary school, high school, university, if you went to a college, other teachers you've had lots of teachers growing up. And chances are, most of your teachers, if you walked past them on a street corner, you wouldn't recognize them. That's how little of an impact they've had on you. Think about your high school teachers. If they walked past you right now, you wouldn't know who they were because they had no impact. But there's always that one teacher that stood out. There's one teacher that stood out for you. Why? It wasn't because they taught you grade 8 math. It's because they made you feel different as a human. They gave you something more than just the subject matter they were teaching. And that gives you a clue. Why did you like that teacher? Gives you a clue as to who you are and what you want to spread into other people. So, quick example. My favorite teacher growing up was Madame Farr. Madame Farr was my grade 12 French teacher. And I didn't love her because she taught me French. I barely use French on a day-to-day basis. What she taught me was to believe in myself. I was a B and C student going into my last year of high school, and she would meet with me every week. Before school started, once a week, we'd sit down, we'd chat, we'd talk about life, we'd talk about school, we'd talk about where I was at, we'd talk about what was on my mind, and in those conversations, she made me feel like I could do more. That her belief in me created more belief in myself. And in that last year, I went from being a B and C student to straight 90s, straight A+. I was still the same guy. I still had the same ability and the same talent. You know, she wasn't passing me the answers to the test that I had. It was just that belief in me that she gave me that allowed me to go off and start to perform more. So I think that's the most important question you can ask. Another one you can look at is, what was your favorite movie growing up and why? What's your favorite movie of all time? Why? There's so many movies that you've watched. Most of them you don't remember, but there's one that sticks out, that really stands out for you in some way for some reason. My favorite movie is Seabiscuit. It's about this horse that is way too small. It's about this jockey that's way too big. It's about this owner that's bankrupt. And somehow they all find each other and start winning a whole bunch of races. When they they shouldn't be, you know? And it's based off of a true story, and it ended up lifting a nation. The people love this underdog story, and it's a story of belief. Same thing. It's a story of belief. We all, at least for me, I love the idea of being that Seabiscuit, or being the jockey, or being the owner, and helping not just each other believe in themselves, but also the nation, for the audience, for the fans, helping them believe in themselves. And so if you started asking those questions, if you started thinking about who are the people that make you come alive, that make you feel like you're a better person, or what are the resources, or what are the YouTube channels or Instagram accounts or books or podcasts or shows, what are the things that have made you come alive? What are the things that have made you feel like you could do more? And then next to each one, write down a couple of words. So your favorite teacher growing up, who was it? And then why? 3 words to explain why. Your favorite movie of all time, and then 3 words. Why? And what you'll find is, as you do this exercise, you'll see some similar patterns. You'll see some words pop off the page. You'll see that same word come up a couple times. That's your who. That's your single most important core value. That's what you still need more of in your life right now. And that's what you want to give to the world. The other great part about it is that will be with you for life. This isn't something that we want to change. This is who you are. This is your best version of you. At my core, I'm the best when I believe in myself. And my biggest problem is still, I need to believe in myself more to get to the next level. When you figure out your most important core value, your who, your one word, it's still what you need right now. My biggest challenge right now is that I don't believe in myself to hit the next level. And it's what you want to give to the people around you. If you're watching this, you're probably an entrepreneur. You want to give to the world. You want to have a big mission. You have a big message. But some people, like Nina, who was just here, she doesn't have a big message, but she wants to help the closest people to her. We all want to feel like what we do matters. We all want to feel like we're having an impact on people, whether the closest people to us or to the world. But we're stuck and we're lost and we need guidance. And if you feel like you have all these ideas, but you don't know how they all make sense, and you don't know that you feel like it could be something, but you don't know how to get there, there's not enough momentum happening, it's because you're not in touch with your single most important core value. Here's an example. If I'm struggling to do something, I'm struggling to get on stage to speak, I'm struggling to turn on the camera to make a video for you, I'm struggling to launch my next project, I get an idea and then I say, oh, I can't do that. What do I need? At the end of the day, what do I really need? Like, what's the thing that's going to turn that idea into actual action? I need more belief. And so when I can catch myself procrastinating, finding excuses, saying no when I shouldn't be, I can quickly reverse it by saying, Evan, you need to believe more in yourself, because that's at the core of who I am. And when I can catch it, then it gives me the courage to go off and do it, to record the video, to get on stage, to launch that project, to say yes, to say yes, to say yes. I think of Alex, who helps me run Toronto Dance also, who is belong. He needs to belong more with himself, and he needs to spread more belong to the world. And whenever he's not happy, and whenever he's not following through, and whenever he's not hitting his goals and doing the work, it's because he doesn't feel like he belongs. Doesn't feel like he belongs to himself, and he doesn't feel like he's spreading belong to the world. If you are stuck, if you are going too slow, if you have all of this unrealized potential inside you, the thing that is missing is you not following through on who you say you want to be. You're not matching that potential. How you make it practical is to figure out your who. Because every time you come back to that and say, I just need more of X, I need more hope, I need more freedom, I need more belief, I need more belong, I need more love, I need more care for myself, and then to spread it to the world. And when you can feel that, when you can actually feel that, it'll dramatically change how you show up. all of a sudden now you're making progress where you weren't before. You're accomplishing more in a day than you were in a year. You've released the chains. You've given yourself wings. You've given yourself the permission to actually go off and do the scary thing that's inside you, because now you know who you are. Figure out your one word. Figure out your who. Watch your life change. Your challenges don't only make you stronger, they allow you to serve better. I think the default answer for a lot of people is that your challenges make you stronger. Your challenges will, to grow muscle, you have to break your muscle first. And all of these obstacles that are put in your way allow you to have a better life. They're making you stronger. They're making you more powerful. And that's all true, yes. And the thing that helps me the most is just tying it back to service, because I think, humans are built to serve. You are built to serve. When you can connect the challenge that you're going through as something that's then going to inspire and help other people, at least for me, it always gives me a lot more strength and a lot more courage to do the thing that I need to do, as opposed to it just being about me getting stronger. I find a lot of times me getting stronger is not enough. It's not enough of a reason compared to it's going to help somebody else as well. So, if that's you, hope this video helps you as well. So I think about when I was doing my tour 2019 and I broke my neck. It was one of the most challenging times in my life, and that it's already hard enough. I'm already, on the road. We're quarter of the year on the road, 90 straight days, me, Nina, my cameraman, Danny. And there were a lot of challenges in making that whole tour happen, and new city every 4 days, and all of the stuff that goes into, it was my first ever tour. And then I broke my neck 2/3 of the way through. So as if things weren't hard enough, now I break my neck. I can't drive anymore. I'm in insane amounts of pain. I have a concussion, and I'm still making videos. I struggled with the decision. This is a real decision. Do I quit the tour or not? Do I quit the tour? Do I go home? There's still another month on the road. It's not just me, it's also Nina, who has to do a lot more work now. She's got to drive this giant Suburban across the country. Danny, the camera guy, has to do a lot more work. It's a lot of stress. I'm basically out of commission, and all I could do is talk, which is great for speaking, but sucks for everything else. So what do? The thing that made me want to at least try to keep going, I didn't know that I would go for another month, but I thought, let's just do the next city. Let's just do the next city. Let's go to Kansas City. Kansas City was the next stop. Let's go to Kansas City and see what happens. What got me through it was thinking about somebody in the audience, thinking about one of you guys who was struggling with something physically. Up until that point, I dealt with a lot of mental issues, mindset issues, things like believing you're not good enough, lack of self-worth, you don't have a message to share, imposter syndrome, all of those things, right? Even here, we're filming, we're about to go through a car wash. We're next, so we're probably gonna get some crazy noise. I don't have to talk loud. I used to be so worried about that stuff that I wouldn't film. Like, oh, I can't film going to a car wash, the noise, whatever. Now I look at it as opportunities. Like, let's go. Like, that's not a good enough reason. Maybe the video quality sucks. I hope not. Maybe you can't hear me loud enough. I hope not. But not letting those things get in your way, because that stuff happens all the time. Like, that stuff happens all the time. And look, we're next. You guys can see it says car wash. We're next, depending on how long that guy ahead of us takes. You might see it in this video. I dealt with a lot of those mindset issues, those lack of belief issues, those worthiness issues, and I battled them, and I've been through them, and have a few lessons to share. And over the years of me trialing and failing, and 20 plus years of doing this, my hope is to make the path a little bit easier for you, so that you don't have to struggle as much as I did. The path can be a little bit sooner, a little bit faster, a little bit less painful, right? But I'd never been through anything really physical.
Thank you.
I've broken my toe. I remember breaking my toe and then going for a run, and I was doing an Instagram live at the time. It was like a light run, fast jog, and my toe was hurting so much, and I just kept powering through it. Then later realized I broke my toe. But that's not really anything major, right? For somebody who's going through something physical and major, it's like, you broke your toe. Come on, it's not a big deal. And so I never felt like I could serve or push people who had a physical limitation, had a physical kind of injury, because I've never gone through it, and I don't feel right pushing people on things that I haven't experienced in some form myself, right? So here I am, 2019, now I break my neck. Now I have a concussion. I'm in more pain than I've ever been in my life. Concussion, if you haven't been through it, is just devastating, because it's not just the physical pain of not being able to move your body and, neck, and potential having spinal surgery, which is crazy scary, but also not being able to think clearly. For me, I value that a lot. Like, I love thinking, I love problem solving, and not being able to think clearly and just be a vegetable on the couch all day was devastating. So getting through that, and then deciding I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna at least try for the next stop in Kansas City. Why? Because if I can get through this, yes, it's a challenge that will teach me and make me stronger, and I have a lesson that I can learn from it. But if I can get through this, then hopefully it can serve as an inspiration for other people who are going through something physical as well. That it's not just a mindset issue, but they have physical limitations. If you want to make more money, you want to make big money, you have to start thinking on a bigger scale. And that might sound obvious as I say it, but recognizing your own limiting thinking where you're playing small is one of the most challenging things to do, I think, in the world. I am where I'm at because I've thought big enough, but also I'm not at a higher level because I'm not thinking bigger, period. It's really hard. And so here's a quick example. There was 2 days ago, I was talking to an entrepreneur friend of mine, and he's built a decent business. Inside of 1 year, he's got a $250,000 business, right? That's a pretty good business for 1 year. And he went from, being let go from his job and starting this company, and now he's at a $250,000 in revenue. And he messages me just as a fun thing to do, and he's like, "Hey, I'm doing a points run. Where should I go?" It's like, "Hey, if you could fly anywhere, where would you go on a points run?" Like, "What's a points run?" And he said, I'm qualifying for one of the airlines to get a certain level, a certain tier with them, and I need to get a certain number of points so that I can qualify to get in. And I said, "Oh, I don't know. I pay zero attention to that." If you're thinking about going somewhere, instead of flying, this is how you upgrade. This is how you make more money, right? It's upgrading the thinking. He's trying to solve the problem of, I need to get into the points club so that I can get whatever marginal benefits from being in that club. And I said, you know what you should be thinking of? Instead of flying economy to some city that is however many miles away you need to get your points, what you should be doing is thinking, how do I make it worth my time to fly somewhere where I can afford to fly business class and land a 5-figure deal as a result of being there? He's got a couple clients right now that if he could go and visit them. We were just on a call, and he's talking about how one of his clients is having a hard time figuring out a standard operating procedure of how they should be applying the knowledge he's giving them and train their team on how to do it, right? That was a problem that just came up for them. It's like, we love what you're telling us. We love your offering. We're having a hard time executing it and making it standard procedure. The next call that he's doing with them was going to be to train them on how to do it. Great. Hey, instead of thinking about a points run, how about you go fly there and say, you know what? I'll spend a day with you, sitting down, training you on how to do this. This is a client that is already mid 5-figure client a year for him. That could easily become a low 6-figure client a year for him. So he could more than double the business if they execute on his ideas, right? Because he's not in there doing all the work, but this could more than double his business with this one client with no real extra added cost or expense to him, just pure income at the top. So instead of hopping on a Zoom call with them and training them and going back and forth on email, how about you fly there, spend a day with them, build the relationship even deeper with them because he's never actually met them in person. And that way you take your points run, you still get your points and qualify for whatever discounts you get and benefits. You can fly business class there, have a much better experience, and end up doubling the business with your client and getting an extra 5-6 figures as a result of it. Like, this is the upgrade in the thinking. You want to make bigger money, you have to start thinking about bigger thinking. And I fully acknowledge that I'm not thinking big enough for where I want to go. You know, every time I think I'm thinking big, I'll watch a Grant Cardone video, or I'll watch an Elon Musk video, and Elon Musk is talking about having a backup plan for the planet. That's why we're going to Mars. I watch a Steve Jobs video about taking a dent in the universe, and I realize, oh my gosh, I'm thinking so small. You know, I'm doing nothing. Not in a bad way, in an inspiring, positive way to say, man, you could be doing so much more. Come on, man, let's go. So it's still my biggest problem too. It's the hardest thing to catch, because for him and his environment and his friends and how he grew up, a points run is correct thinking. You know, getting the discount codes is the right thinking. The challenge with that is you're spending time looking for the best deal and looking to save $100 here or a couple $100 there, and you're using your mental energy up on small problems. What my friend is doing is using his mental energy up on trying to save a couple $1,000s when he could be adding 6 figures to his business with the same mental energy. Now, luckily, you know, he brought it up and I was able to call him out on it and suggest a better path forward. If he hadn't, it was a joke, I think, when he sent it. Like, where should I go on a points run? I don't think he expected the answer that I gave him. But I think the only way to get this is to be around the people who can call it out in you. Either physically, I think that's the best. The challenge is it's as you get bigger, as you grow more, there's fewer people who are ahead of you who can push you, right? There's fewer people who can look at what you're doing and say, hey, this is nothing. Play bigger in a loving way, like push you in a loving way. As you climb the ladder, there's fewer and fewer people at the top of the ladder who are ahead of you, right? And so, yes, you want to give back and you want to serve. And as you learn, you reach back and you pull somebody else up to your level, but constantly finding somebody. That's why I love mastermind groups. I love coaching. I love tapping into experts on different topics because they pull me up. Even if I'm an expert at something, I want to talk to my friends who are experts and people who are ahead of me because they push me to be better. And if you don't know those people yet, what are your options? Well, you could join group programs, right? I've got, for example, Movement Makers. I love my Movement Makers program. It's $49 a month. And we meet every 2 weeks and you get to learn from me. And there's other amazing humans who are trying to build up their platforms as well and become thought leaders and experts. But if it's not my program, there's tons of other programs out there. Who do you connect with? Who do you love? Who do you look up to? And you get a little bit of, you may not be able to afford to fly there and meet them, but you can learn from them even in a group setting. If you can't afford that, you know, $49 a month or $97 a month or whatever the programs are is too much for you, then even the free content, even what I'm doing, even these videos here, you get a little bit from some super successful person every time I make a video. If you even just consistently watch those, I've learned a ton from Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and Steve Jobs and people who I've never met through my own videos, and they push me and they challenge me. They can't specifically call me out. They can't say, hey, Evan, what you're doing right here, this thing that you're doing, like the points run, is small, right? You shouldn't be doing that. But they can at least give me encouragement and motivation in seeing what they're doing inspires me to want to do something bigger. Focus on who you are serving instead of who you're not. That one sentence is at the core of how I've been able to stay so consistent, to keep making content, to not give up, to not get too discouraged, and to get back up every single time and keep going. Because I focus on who I am serving instead of who I'm not. I just recently spoke at Brendan Burchard's Influencer Summit, and I shared my graphic of how I've grown over the years on my channel. Every time I show that graph, they always ask me, how did you keep going? In the first 5 years, when you had no subscribers, when you had no comments, how did you keep going? And how did you make so many videos? How did you not burn out? How have you made 12,000 videos over 12 years? How do you keep doing it? And I don't think I'm superhuman. I don't think I'm extra special. I think I had actually more problems than most. I'm shy, I'm introverted, I was afraid of the camera. I felt like only egotistical people put themselves on camera and told their story. I had lots of limiting beliefs and struggles in getting my channel and just belief in myself to put anything out there. I hated my first 350 videos. I couldn't watch anything back. Totally embarrassed by everything I made. And it was 750 videos before I inspired myself, before I finally liked one of my own videos. Like, you know what? I'm starting to get decent at this. That was a good video. 750 videos in before I did that. So how do you keep going? How does that make any sense? Because I always focus on who I was serving instead of who I wasn't. Most of us just focus on who we're not serving. Think about your growth. Think about if you've made any kind of content. You know, at the beginning, you get nothing, right? There's no reaction, there's no comments, and then maybe you get one comment, and then maybe you get 5 comments, or maybe you get 10 likes, or maybe you get however many views on your videos, right? You get 100 views on your video. Now that's kind of the standard. Now if you get 20 views again on a video, ooh, that doesn't feel so good, right? Or if you get 1,000 views on a video, or 10,000 views on a video, or 100,000 views on a video. I remember the first time I got 100,000 views on a video, it's like, wow, I've made it. And then it's easy to feel like, oh, the next video got 10% of that, and you feel like, oh, I suck, it's not working, right? Instead of focusing on that, because that's a losing game, focus on who you are helping and assume that it is serving people. I've always felt, I think, some kind of responsibility or just gratitude that anybody would care about what I had to say and that you were spending your time with me. I remember my first speaking gig was at the YMCA in Canada, was at the YMCA, and 3 people showed up. You know, 3 people showed up, and I just did my best to give a great experience to those 3 people. And then I kept doing it, and the next time we had 4, and then we had 7, then we had 12, and then we had 15, and then we had 20, and then we outgrew the space. And so then I went to the boardroom of a bank, Royal Bank of Canada, and took over their boardroom at night for entrepreneurs. These were free events I was putting on just to help entrepreneurs. I had no business model or pitch, just serving. And then we got too big for the Royal Bank. So then we went to Indigo, which was a bookstore. It's like a Barnes & Nobles of Canada. We had, you know, people coming out, and then more and more and more. Every 2 weeks I did it again, and more people came. And at the height, we had the second most number of people to ever show up at the bookstore. Number 1 was Sting when he launched, the musician Sting, when he launched his book. He came and he did a little concert, and that was the number 1 event in terms of the number of people that came out. And the second one was my little entrepreneur speeches. It's crazy. When you focus on who you are serving instead of who you're not, it does a couple of things, okay? Number 1, it makes you feel so much better about what you're doing. It makes you feel so much better that what you're doing matters, right? We all want to feel like what we do matters. And if you're used to 1,000 views on a video and then you get 100 views on the next one, you feel like you don't matter, right? You feel like you're losing your value because it didn't reach as many people. Don't think like that. 100 people saw it. Be thankful and be grateful for the 100 people. It doesn't mean that you stop caring about growth and improvement, right? Somebody asked me about satisfaction and happiness, and they said, I'm always happy, but I'm almost never satisfied. I always want to be getting better, to grow, to improve, and it's more a personal thing of I want to put my best effort out there. Today, this video, I want it to be one of my best videos ever, and maybe I accomplish that, maybe I don't, but it's the intent, because I'm never satisfied with where I'm at, but I'm happy. I'm happy as a human because by putting out great work and by paying attention to who you are serving, I think that's the key to being happy, to being fulfilled, to feeling like what you do matters. So it gives you that. By focusing on who you are serving, it gives you that. And number 2, when you focus on the people who you are serving, here's a secret. They take you to the people who you're not serving yet, right? If you love this video, you might share it with somebody.
you might come back and watch another video, and maybe you share that video with somebody. When you focus on loving on your community, it's that double whammy in a positive way of you feel so good that what you do is having a meaningful effect. And when you love on your customers, when you love on your audience, they're going to take you to more people because they're going to feel the love and they're going to spread it for you. You don't have to tell them to do it. They'll do it on their own because they get good vibes by being around you, even if it's just virtually. I think it's really critical. People are really struggling with mental health in creation right now, in entrepreneurship right now. It's a giant struggle. And I see a lot of my contemporaries, a lot of people on YouTube giving up after a couple months saying, I need a mental health break, I'm burnt out. And I've made 12,000 videos over 12 years and we're still going. And it's not, again, that I'm superhuman. It's just a shift. I'm focusing on who I am serving and who I am helping, not all the things that I suck at and how I'm not growing fast enough, because that game never ends, right? It's a never-ending climb. So some years I do better than others, and some months I do better than others. And do I want to have bigger numbers? Of course. But it's not the reason why I do what I do. One other little trick that helps a lot is assume that for somebody, at least one person, what you're going to create today is going to be life-changing. Assume that for somebody, at least one person, what you will create today will be life-changing. That if you're making content and 100 people see your video, and you might think that's a failure because you're used to 1,000 views on your video, that for one of those 100 people, it's a life-changing video. My hope, my intention is that this video today is a life-changing video for somebody. For some of you watching, for most of you watching, maybe it's just another good video. It's like, hey, thank you, good shot of espresso in the morning. Here we go, thank you, awesome. Or you're having breakfast, or you're doing something else. You're driving in your car on your way to work, and you're listening to me. Awesome, amazing. But I hope that for one person, it's a life-changing video. It's finally going to give you the permission to go off and do the thing that you desperately want to do, that you know is in your heart and has to come out. I just feel that. And I've seen it enough over the years of people telling me that my videos have had an impact on them only years later. Yesterday at Brendan Burchard's influencer event that I spoke at, people were commenting and then DMing me on Instagram and sharing stories of, I've been following you since whatever year, and this is the first time they're ever telling me. Right? They never left a comment on a video. They never messaged me. They never emailed me. They never tweeted. They never sent anything. It's the first time I've ever seen their name ever. And they've been a hardcore follower for a decade. And I've had a huge impact and I'm part of their daily life. And it's only now, a decade later, that I'm finding out about it. Right? There are people who are like that for you too. And we just assume that we don't matter. And we assume because you might get a few less views on a video or post that it's not having an impact and not having a reach, and then you take that personally and feel like you suck. Assume that it's making an impact on somebody. Assume that it's life-changing for somebody, that you are giving hope, encouragement, motivation, permission for somebody else to go and become their best selves. When you tie your self-worth to the results that you're getting, you ultimately are going to lose, because have some days where you don't get results, and it's going to defeat you. It's going to lead to stress. It's going to lead to anxiety. It's going to lead to wanting to quit. It's going to lead to burnout. The key to fulfillment, the key to momentum, the key to sustained activity, and the key to actually loving the work that you're doing is reminding yourself to focus on the people that you are serving instead of the ones that you aren't.
Because you made it this far in a video, I want to celebrate you. Most people start and don't finish. Most people never actually follow through. Most people say they want something, but they don't ever do the work to actually get it. But you are different. You are special. Believe Nation, you made it here all the way to the end, and I love you. So as a special celebration, if you put a hashtag believe down in the comments below on this video, I will showcase you and celebrate you somewhere on the screen in a future video, because you are awesome.
If you want to watch another top 10 rules of Evan Carmichael, Check out the video next to me. Continue to believe. I will see you there.
I think we constantly go through this. I recently went through this late last year where I got invited to speak at Brendan Burchard's event and a couple thousand people in the room. And up until that point, I hadn't done a big speaking event.